Hello. Welcome back to Wednesday. This is a whole series. This is part 3. So if you haven't listened to part 1 and 2, maybe go back because everything will make much more sense. But today I want to talk about visibility and my experience of it 10 years ago when I chose to go all in. And actually looking back and doing research for this, I realized that we didn't have all of the things that we have now. So this, before we get started, is your reminder that there are so many options out there. So pick one, don't overthink it, and get cracking, because somebody or something needs you right now. And don't get stuck or lost in the confusion or the indecision. It's time to get moving and shaking. So here's what I realized. I had to become visible regularly and consistency. And when I didn't show up for my business, or if I didn't sell, nothing would happen. And that is a dawning that happens for everyone, I think, like, oh, this is on me. Right. Time to figure it out. Time to come up with the plan. Let's go. And the first thing I want to ask you to do is to turn up the brightness on your patterns, your habits, how you like to do things, and when you don't like to do things. And I decided that the best thing that I could do in this moment is really get to know myself and make it about me and not the external reason. So what I had to do was my own inner work, my own mindset work about being visible and showing up. Because what will happen when you are feeling insecure about it, or full of self-doubt, or having a confidence wobble, or can't be asked, or whatever the reason is, your brain will get to work and say, don't worry, you don't have to do anything, because I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't right now. You don't have to do this because there's a recession, there's a thing, it's Tuesday, it's nearly Christmas, Christmas is only just gone, people aren't spending money at the moment, all of these things. Your brain will be like, no worries, I've got this. And there will always be a reason not to do something. But having had 10 years plus of data of people buying things, people are bought at all kinds of times of day and all the rest of it. So people are always buying, they're always spending money. And so the longer that you stay in that place of like, people are not doing this, I always come back to myself and I ask myself, what am I making up about this situation? What excuses am I putting in place that will hold me back so I don't have to do the thing? And yes, all of these things might be very real things as well. However, staying and paying attention to all the negativity, that's not going to make you sales. Number 2, show yourself. I was going to say in all your glory, but what I want to say is you choose. You choose how you show yourself. And as Brené Brown says, do show yourself from the scar, not the wound. You don't have to be on Instagram every day, pouring your heart out and sharing your life story and your medical history and all of that. But equally, if we don't know who you are, and basic things like having a business name but having no point of contact, if your handle is, I don't know, at the yellow brick road and we don't know that your name is Dorothy, you're missing a trick here, because somebody wants to not put hi there, they want to say, hi Dorothy, nice to meet you. We want that personalization. So this is really important, to show yourself. And again, there are very many different levels of doing this, and you need to find the things that work for you. Number 3, whatever works. And I've tried all the things. I've had Skypes with people. I know, back in the day, Skype, videos, workshops in pubs, going to networking events, what else, all the things, all the things. If your head is in that place of like, I'll just hold back and hope for the best, I encourage you to not do that. I encourage you not to do that, because I know it sounds very like northern mom, like that won't get you anywhere, but truly it won't. And I also understand the power of the ripple effect. You know, if you have one conversation with somebody, they might have another conversation. Do you know what? I was just talking to Nikki the other day. She was saying about this, and then that's when your business gains momentum. So even if, again, your brain wants to say, well, nobody's listening. I've got 3 followers on Instagram. Go and find spaces where there are people. Just staying in that position of nothing's working, nothing's working. Do you know what? Nothing will work if you stay there. And I know these things sometimes sound a bit harsh, but I want to see you win. I want to see your business flourish. I want you to be the full version of yourself, doing what you love and helping loads of people. And I want to see money distributed. I want to see you thrive. And so that is the position I'm coming with. And if you want help with your digital disco, if you don't want to be live and thriving all the time online, digital disco could be a really great one for you. Number 4, make it simple for your mum's friend, or insert whoever you want, to tell her friend. There is often a lot of goodwill when you first start a business or you start doing something. So help people out. One of the things that I did was a PDF, and I would send people, my friends and my family, like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm all about. These are the kinds of people that I work with. This is how I can be most useful. Here are my testimonials. I made it obvious, because then they could file it on their email. If somebody came to mind, they could just forward that email and go, do you know what? I got this today. It might be great. I thought of you. How often do we do that? So I want you to really make it as easy as possible. And I actually saw one of my mum's friends about 6 months ago, and she was like, oh, I remember when you were doing X, Y, and Z. And like, oh, do you remember I told so-and-so? I'm like, I do remember. And I was very grateful that you did that. So thank you. This happens all of the time. Number 5, get comfortable with people judging you and not liking you and being visible regardless. Many of us don't want to do this because maybe you grew up like me, being the victim of lots of bullies, threats. I'm going to get you after school. I'm going to take your dinner money off you. All of these things. You see the discomfort already. And then to put yourself out there on the internet, that brings up all of that stuff again. And it doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel good. But what I've come to realize through a lot of inner work and just doing it again and again and again is, firstly, these people don't really matter. When you have that bigger why, that bigger purpose, you know, when I had kids and I was like, well, I've got to put food on the table, and I want to live in a nice house, and I want us to be warm, and I want us to have what we need. And then obviously that has kind of expanded over the years to, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I didn't have any capacity to think, well, what would that girl who was in my year 9 maths class, and yeah, if you're watching this, you know who you are. You were an absolute, you know what, you were. And I hope you know that what you did to me and to many people was not acceptable. And I also now know that lots of that stuff that happened to me and many of the people that I know was not about us. And when I think about the kind of person that I want to be in the world, and I'm not saying in that kind of like, I've got it all sorted, but I actually don't want to spend my time criticizing other people, trying to pull them down. Like, that energy for me it's not cool. It's not good. It doesn't make me feel good. I want to help people fly and do ace things. Like, it's so, there are a few things, but one of the things that I really love from clients is when they call me, they message me and they go, I did the thing. and I got the result, or I made this money, or they've said yes, or I'm not going to do that anymore, I made a decision, like whatever it is. It feels so, so good. Equally, have people around you who are going to keep you in check. Matt is great for this, especially in the early days. You made a spelling mistake. That doesn't make sense. You probably need to add another sentence because it's a bit ambiguous. That person who's in your corner for the good, who's going to go, have you thought about this? Did you know that this has happened? And sometimes it'd be like, no, oh gosh, right. And that's really useful as well. That's really good too. If you want help with becoming more visible and doing these things on your terms, send me a message, check out your digital disco, and get visible. Lots of love. Bye.